As we approach the NFL playoffs, CBS Sports continues to update this graphic with both the NFC and AFC's teams' chances to make the playoffs. Hilariously, people in the comments are mad about this. They're statistics. How can this piss you off? I don't know. But it did get me thinking about building my own little playoff bracket here. So in the NFC, Philly, San Fran, Dallas, and Detroit have virtually clinched a playoff spot, although it is possible to not have the playoff spot. It's a slim chance. New Orleans and Green Bay in the NFC are above 50%. And then the sleeper teams are Seattle, Minnesota, just under 50. And Atlanta, the Rams, Tampa Bay could technically make it. And I guess these teams could technically make it too, but not really. And then over the AFC, Baltimore, KC, Jacksonville, Miami are all really close. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Houston with pretty good odds. Indy, Denver, Buffalo, Chargers, not so much. Keep in mind, these are the statistics at the end of NFL Week 12, so this is going to slightly adjust based on where you are in the NFL season when you're watching this, but I wanted to make a little tier list here and kind of just talk about what the playoffs are going to look like. So first round bye teams. There's obviously only 2 teams that are going to get a first round bye. Out of this, it's technically a tie between Philly, San Fran, and Dallas. But it's really not a tie between Dallas and Philly because if it comes down to a tiebreaker, Philly's going to win it. It's really just between Philly and San Fran in the NFC, and I see it being Philadelphia. These are obviously interchangeable, but I can't put both. I have a lot more faith in Jalen Hurts than I do in Brock Purdy. Really still like San Fran, so I'm putting San Fran in a wild card favorites. First round bye in the NFC, I'm giving to the Philadelphia Eagles. Over in the AFC, it does have the Baltimore Ravens here. I actually don't like the Baltimore Ravens as much as I like KC. I think a lot of KC's issues have been like the most simple thing in football, which is they've dropped passes, they've looked a little shitty, but I still see KC clinching the first round bye. I don't think Baltimore is going to end as strong. The Ravens look really, really good. I think the Ravens, if they see the Chiefs in the playoffs, I think the Ravens will win. I just don't have the Ravens getting the first round bye. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I have the Ravens as a dark horse for the Super Bowl right now. There's another graphic I want to show you too, actually, which is chances to win the Super Bowl. This is also by CBS. Same analytics. San Fran, KC, Philly, Baltimore, Dallas. Those are the top 5 leaders. And then Miami, Jacksonville, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. I don't like our 2.7%. And the fact that they think Pittsburgh has a 1.2% chance is insane to me. I think the Steelers are so shit. Regardless. Wildcard favorites. I have San Fran as a wildcard favorite. I have Baltimore. I also have Dallas as a wild card favorite. I have the Lions as a wild card favorite. I'm a little biased, but I do think whoever we play, I think we should smack the shit out of them. And that completes the NFC. These are my NFC wild card favorites. For the AFC, Baltimore, I think the Jaguars will definitely be a wild card favorite. But here's the thing. According to like this analytics, the next wildcard favorite should be Miami or Pittsburgh or Cleveland. I'm gonna be honest. I do not like any of those teams. Miami freaks me out. I know Miami put up their big 70 bomb, but gosh, Miami kind of struggles against good teams. I think Miami is going to be a team that absolutely folds in this year's playoffs. I think their team has a great future, but I do not have them as a wild card favorite. Barely made the playoffs is not a good way to put this because they're not going to barely make the playoffs, but I don't have them as a favorite. I'm going to call it a first round exit here instead. I don't know, man. There's always a good team that takes a first round exit, and I've got Miami as that team. You know who I really like? Houston Texans. I guess I kind of labeled this weird. They're not exactly wildcard favorites, but I think they make it past the first round. I don't think Houston loses. So here's the thing. Houston has to make the playoffs, though. They have a 52.1% chance right now. I think not only do they make the playoffs, but they advance to the divisional round. I love Houston this year. First round exit, I got Miami. Steelers have a really good chance to make it. I think this is one of the most fraudulent high win teams. Let me show you something. I'm sure you've seen this before. Okay, the Steelers are 7-4 with an 80% chance to make the playoffs. They have 182 points for and 205 points against. Their point differential is negative, and they're gonna make the playoffs. Oh my God, that's so annoying. Look at the Buffalo Bills, who are 6-6. They have a plus 100 point differential, and they're probably not gonna make the playoffs. I mean, unless they have an incredible surge here at the end of the year, which I hope they do. I want to see the Bills make it. They're not going to make it. Analytically, they have an 18.8% chance to make it. I think the Steelers are so fucking fraudulent. That is a first round exit team if I've ever seen one. I think whoever faces the Steelers in the playoffs will be very happy. Cleveland. What is the status of Deshaun Watson's injury? He doesn't return this season, right? Yeah, Watson is undergoing season-ending surgery to repair his throwing shoulder to avoid further structural damage. So, I'm sorry, but I don't see Dorian Thompson-Robinson winning a playoff game. Browns are a first-round exit. Steelers are a first-round exit, and Miami's a first-round exit. So, I have these three teams losing their wild card game in the AFC. And I have the Texans, the Jaguars, and the Baltimore Ravens making it out. And then the Chiefs with the first round bye. So in this scenario, the divisional would be Chiefs versus Texans, which I actually think could be a pretty awesome game. And then Jaguars versus Ravens also would be pretty cool. And then on the NFC side of things, who's the exits? So I think the Saints make it, but the only reason the Saints make it is because somebody has to come out of this poverty-ass NFC South. And that's either the Falcons or the Saints. I almost see the Falcons making it over the Saints. Percentage-wise, I don't know. Analytically, the Saints have a better chance than the Falcons, but I do see the Falcons winning out in the NFC South. NFC South sucks, and somebody's got to go to the playoffs. I have the Falcons doing it over the Saints. I really do not like the Saints this year. So I'm going to have the Saints just missing the playoffs, and I'm going to have the Falcons as a first-round exit. Falcons, somebody makes it out of the NFC South, but they don't go any further than that. I think the Seahawks are like... The Seahawks are really trying to claw and make this happen, but I just can't see it. I think they will make the playoffs. I do not think they will get out of that first round. That team is not ready. Not with Geno. I'm sorry, Geno. I love you, buddy. I just don't see it. So that's a first-round exit, which means there's one more NFC team that's got to make the playoffs. Analytics say... I've already ruled NOLA out. I'm ruling NOLA out. It's either Green Bay or Minnesota. Technically could be the Rams. I don't see that happening, and I definitely don't see the Bucks. So between Green Bay and Minnesota, I'm going to give the edge to Green Bay. Josh Dobbs proved that the Linsanity run is over. That was a pretty pitiful loss to the Bears. I don't know how he recovers from that. So I'm going to have the Packers making it, but also having a first-round exit. So in this scenario, on the NFC side of things, the teams that advance are the Cowboys, the Lions, and the Niners. I mean, these are the high-win teams, though, in the NFC, so I think the Eagles would actually play the Lions. I think we might end up being the lowest seed out of those remaining teams. So the divisional would be Cowboys, Niners. The NFL would love that. And then Eagles, Lions. Sadly, I do think in that scenario, the Eagles would whip our ass. But could be a cool game. So these are my first-round exit teams. Just missed the playoffs, then, is NOLA. Rams just missed it. Buccaneers just missed it. Just missed it is, I think you almost could put them here because Saints just missed it in this scenario. Vikings just missed it. Indy just missed it. Denver just missed it. Honestly, I low-key could see Denver making the playoffs, actually. They're on a tear right now. If I was going to swap Denver for any of these teams, I would probably swap them for the Steelers or the Browns. I don't know which one I'd swap them for. Gosh, I am tempted to do that. The thing about the Steelers and the Browns, they have such good defenses. They both have just immaculate defenses. I'll keep it where it is. Denver just misses it. Bills just miss it. And the Chargers, I don't know if you even say just miss it for the Chargers. They're really not that close, but I don't want to put them in didn't tank properly. Actually, I will. Chargers are ass, bro. They're 4-7. I'm going to say you didn't tank properly. Same with the Raiders. I'm going to say you didn't tank properly because you're really not close to making the playoffs. I think the Jets almost tanked properly. I don't think the Titans tanked properly. I think the Bears tanked properly. Patriots, Cardinals, Panthers are all Caleb Williams enjoyers. I guess, where do you really put the Bengals? Because they're at the bottom of the AFC North and they don't have Joe Burrow. Guess I'll say didn't tank properly. The Giants almost tanked properly. The Commanders almost tanked properly. These are our Caleb Williams enjoyers. This is my playoff outlook. I don't even know what you call this tier list, but I could not find a single good website to like build a playoff bracket. So what you basically have here is the top 8. These are who are going into the final 8 for the playoffs. This is my playoff bracket here. Is these top 2. So the final 8 teams, the divisional round is Niners, Cowboys, Ravens, Jaguars, Lions, Eagles, Chiefs, Texans. These teams made the playoffs, but lost in the first round. These teams just missed the playoffs. These teams were just straight up average. These teams were close to enjoying Caleb Williams, and these teams have a very legitimate shot at enjoying Caleb Williams. I understand the Panthers traded their pick, but you get my point. Or did they? Who has the picks? Who has the first 2? It's like Bears, Cardinals, right? Something? You get my point. All right, boys. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think. If it helps you, I'm recording this on November 29th. So I think there's going to be a significant odds shift after week 13, but I don't know. I still really like this. I like it a lot. I really like the Texans. I want the Texans to go to playoffs bad. All right, y'all. Love you guys. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one. Peace.